Hey everybody, Frank Lee Dunn here, and I have a really exciting guest today. It's Mr. Shawn Smart. Shawn, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Man, I'm good, brother. This enjoying the sun while it's out. It's a little sunny, but we're thankful here in North Carolina. So I'm
In
glad
North Carolina, y'all get both heat and snow, or do you not get very much snow there?
Yeah, well, I'm in the mountains, so I'm in Asheville. So yeah, we get real snow. Yeah, we get it here and get real cold. So I'm still in a beautiful city.
Yeah, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. That's part of the reason why I never think I'll leave South Texas, is because I don't know if I can deal with the snow. It's too hard for me. Love it, beautiful, but
yeah.
So Shawn, tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now, a little bit about your background, and sort of how you're working with AI.
Well, thank you for asking, man. I am a marketing. I'm a boutique. I call myself a boutique firm. I specialize in working with small entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs to small business owners, kind of focusing on that. I'm an underdog business owner, so I got into marketing about 10 years ago, where I was really interested in digital marketing, kind of obsessed with it. I went from California to Orlando learning, going to seminars, things like that, and got into marketing to help myself and also got into helping others. One of the things I've done recently is acquired my AI certification to integrate more workflows, more systems in place for those individuals, those business owners that don't have that big budget. So I can go in and help them create agents and things that can take on tasks and create departments for them where they can focus on what they're good at. So just think I could take away having to worry about the emails and the marketing campaigns and virtual assistants and things like that, so that they can focus. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they're drowning, trying to do everything. So with AI, it helps alleviate a lot of that. And so that's what I love it for. And I tell people, don't be afraid of AI. Only be afraid of it if you don't learn it, because you can be replaced by somebody who does know it.
Yeah. Quiet. You brought up two interesting points, I think. So number one, AI can help you build out departments, these small businesses that don't have large HR teams, large sales teams, right? Or really, it's not even, you might have 90% of the team, but it's that back office support, that organization, that scheduling or whatever it is, that is a silent killer. It's really an all or nothing process, and we almost don't understand. So I love what you said about that. And then also that if you're not learning it, you're going to possibly be replaced by somebody that does learn it. I've been watching a lot of news, I'm sure you have as well, where individuals or the news organizations are saying that there's jobs being laid off. Is this the time where we should be looking at our own passions that we love, right? Because now is more than ever with this technology, if I love doing something and I don't love going to my job, I probably should start figuring out how to make that work, because it looks like the writing is on the wall for a lot of our 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, white collar jobs, at least.
Yes. So with anything, I think I think back when the internet first came, right? It changed. People didn't take it serious, but it changed the world. It was gold rush. So yes, if you're passionate about something, my message to anyone is to dive into AI, because it's going to enhance your skill sets, your time, and things like that, especially if you're at a job where you have to do a lot of research. man, you're talking about possibly where it may take you 5 hours. Now you cut down to an hour. Yeah. And so that's my message. Is like, look, if you like writing, if you like graphics and videography and things like that, incorporate these tools, because they'll give you an advantage, and they give you options to take on more workloads. So if you're just trying to manually do everything by yourself, you can only take on so many projects. But when you set systems in place and you implement AI, you can take on a bunch of projects at a time. You save more time while making more revenue.
Switching a little bit, have you created any AI projects recently, or are there some examples of practical applications that these small businesses have worked with you to design, or things that you are anticipating to design?
So one of the things that I've done is create agents that are almost like, well, not almost, they are employees with names. So John the marketer handles all of the marketing strategies, setting up the copywriting, running different hooks and ads, split testing. Have another agent that now getting to the point where you almost don't have to answer emails. They'll prioritize your emails. What you should be paying attention to, what you should reply to, and then things like that. And so one of my personal projects is working with these nonprofits. I have been able to teach the children how to create books, not only just to enhance their reading, but get them excited about reading. Also, the older kids, getting them excited about reading as well, but also being able to sell these digital products. Because a lot of kids that we serve, they are underprivileged kids that are, in these areas where the first thing they see as far as generating money is drugs. And so if I can show them how to create something with their phone, they don't have to even have a computer. And so I also created a book myself that'll be being released in September.
Awesome. Are you going to release it through Amazon, or do you have another publishing house?
So I'll release it through Amazon, Books A Million, the normal platforms.
Sure.
So because I'm all about time, it's like, people, I'm not lugging around dead product. I may get a few, but I love the fact that people can go order Amazon, everybody ships it.
Yeah. Going back to what you said too at the beginning, you said that, when the internet was started, and I've heard lots of people, I'm not the only one, and you said the internet, but also going back to the Gutenberg printing press. AI feels as if it is a knowledge revolution, right? That expands the knowledge to more people more accurately, right? Like when I was in college, I used to get subscriptions to different databases with peer-reviewed journals and all that sort of stuff. And then you leave college, you don't have access to that unless you're paying for it, right? So there was a wall of this knowledge. If you're not paying for it, you're not getting access, and that's a huge portion of that has been removed with AI. Right. And then you had talked about the working with the kids, and that's a great segue into education. AI is in so many ways going to impact education. So far, what we're seeing, and the reason why education has been on my mind, is because New York City has some sort of political motion, proposition, bill, more for a 2-year moratorium on AI in schools. And I just never liked the idea of completely zero abstinence on something, banning books, banning AI, because that's it. The whole world around them is not banning it too. And so it's like, we just need to get really ahead of it. You seem to already be working with kids and AI to help them. How do you see AI in education working at its optimal peak, right? Let's not necessarily talk about the negative, but because you're already working with kids, how do you see it working best together?
For me, I look at it from a teacher standpoint, right? Our teachers, in a lot of our cities across the United States, they are overworked and underpaid, right? So allowing them to be able to have a tool that can create, homework, schoolwork, involve it, mix it into their teaching, frees them up. It helps them, and so I don't see the reasoning for wanting to ban it, because it's a tool that our teachers who desperately need all the help that they can get.
And I don't think I explained it very well. A lot of the negative side comes from cheating and what they're calling, cognitive offload, or letting the AI think for you, not you actually thinking for yourself. Right. So in that context, I understand it, but cheating, it's not a school thing. It's a human thing, right? Almost, like there's always somebody trying to get around. And you said it, I think, so well, that these teachers are already overworked. This is a tool that they can use and use correctly and in their control, right? Yes. Makes a huge difference.
And I think from a student standpoint, there should be some access to AI. It's a great research tool. It's a great learning tool. Yes, you can go in and get questions answered and maybe get an advantage on a test. But though there are also tools to kind of filter those out too, when you run them through certain databases and stuff like that. And so I just think it's a great thing to be able to have some access to it, but be controlled at the same time, because we don't want a bunch of kids learning nothing, but on paper it looks like they're excellent students, because that can only hurt us as a country and with our educational system.
I'm a father of 4. We had talked earlier. You said you're a father of 3 plus grandchildren and plus daughters and all this sort of. So you definitely have a need to ensure that we do this right as a country, as a world. I do see right now that it is on the side of kids using a calculator without understanding what the calculator can do for you, and not understanding the mechanisms behind the calculator, right? But in a sense, if this tool is used correctly, then you can do more. And that's what I think when you're educating the educators around AI, and educating the parents around AI and grandparents around AI. Actually, and I'm going to step off the ledge a little bit here. Again, my kids are all teenagers. They're not very good at using AI or computers, but AI specifically, and I heard an article about this, that adults, because of our experiences, because we've actually went out into the world, we can actually analyze and critically think about the output of AI and be like, wait. No, I know that's not right. Like that would never happen like that, or that's not the way it's supposed to go. And so this might be an opportunity, again, if we teach the educators how AI works, then it's really just supercharging them, and the kids themselves they'll learn how to use the tool, but it's really the combination of the teacher and the AI together that turns knowledge into understanding, which again, what you said at the beginning, we don't want kids to look like they can pass a test. That doesn't do any good to anybody, right? Like,
thanks. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are looking at, different types of classroom activities. And I think AI brings opportunities for on-demand learning. What do you think about that as far as, the dynamic nature of AI, what it could produce, and how it could rate the student one-on-one?
Well, if we're talking about AI being able to analyze the student's ability to use AI, I just want to make sure I'm answering this correctly.
Oh, no. I mean in the subject. Well, I think the subject of AI is going to be something, right? And I agree with you. We should teach how to use it, what's its pros, what's its cons. But the AI in this scenario would be rating just the subject matter, like, oh, you got that answer right, whether it be about AI or not. Maybe it's math, maybe it's science, or wow, Shawn, you are really excelling in this area. We need to bump up, the questions. Like, this is too easy for you. So you have that dynamic learning environment.
So from that standpoint, I think it would be awesome to have a system that could analyze and point our kids in the right direction where they're weak or where they're strong at. I think that would be a crazy tool for teachers or the school system to have, and also for the kids to let them see, hey, where I need to improve and where I'm excelling at. So
not making them better cheaters, but making them more accountable to their own knowledge.
Right. And so kind of getting them, like kind of putting them in the focus point of saying, okay, let me work on my math, tighten up on my math. And maybe that tool or that artificial intelligence piece could give them examples of things that they could work on to make them better once they get the output, So I think from that standpoint, that'd be crazy. So that would be awesome.
One of the things that I've been looking or seeing more often as far as education goes as well is that at least the term critical thinking is going to be an important part of utilizing AI and teaching critical thinking skills, because AI is not always correct 100% of the time. How do we deal with children interacting with AI and teaching them critical thinking skills at the same time, and how important is that?
Well, for me, I'm all about creating different projects, critical thinking projects outside of AI. I think some of those things is as simple as getting kids out of the building, out of the house, and into nature and stuff, figuring things out, taking them on trips or just doing it one-on-one with them. They don't have any help. We got to figure it out, because when we grew up, we had to figure things out. We had to figure out how to fix a tire, fix a chain, or work our way through a project or a problem without going and being able to ask Siri or ask one of these Google or things like that. So I think it's important to have them do things outside of AI, and then also doing critical thinking, research skills with AI, so that they can have the best. You'll have the best of both worlds. You'll have the opportunity to be able to utilize your own brain, where you just don't get so reliant on these systems and these apps to kind of dumb you down, where you just have both. Kids need both. Adults need both, especially our kids that are growing up. A lot of them, bless their heart, I look at my daughter sometimes and be like, how in the world you can't figure that out? You know, I'm just like, Jesus, I'm failing you. And she's a very smart girl. All my girls are. But sometimes she do act a little blondish where she just, duh. And I'm like, London, let me figure this out. It's come on now, you're too smart with this. So
yeah, and I think there's so, like, I grew up without computers. I grew up without cell phones. There was more time, less time sucking, I should say, objects in my life in those crucial ages. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 17. Obviously, I had video games and these sort of things, but and I always like to bring up the fact too that when books were first invented, parents would get mad at their kids for reading all day, right? So from the beginning, like, there's always something that steals our time, but I feel like it is amplified so much with all of these things that it's hard to get very skilled in one area. That they use the computer all the time, but they don't necessarily know how to use the computer. Right. They just navigate to what they want to do. But so I'm hoping that with giving these sort of lessons to the students in school about AI, that we incorporate AI tutors, these sort of things, that they can exponentially grow. But I agree with you, without the knowledge base on the outside, without real world experience, you're going to be at risk of thinking that something that the AI said was right when it wasn't right.
Correct.
In your experience, do you get a lot of, and we can shift a little bit now back to small business, when you're talking to clients or when you're talking to people about AI, what are some of the reservations that you're hearing from them on the side of, I'm scared, or I don't understand, or those things?
A lot of times they don't want to take the time to learn it, right? They want it, they know they need it, and it's a tool that can help them be efficient. But a lot of times people just don't want to take the time to learn new stuff. That's one of the major things. Some people, the conspiracy theories of AI is going to destroy the world and things like that. But for the most part, the number one thing is time to learn it. And so for someone like me to say, hey, you don't have to know everything. I can put this in. You just need to know the basics. And so that's how I talk to entrepreneurs and anybody who's interested in AI. Start with the basics. Learn the function.
And when you say the basics, let's dive into that. What are your 1, 2, 3 of AI fundamentals, or how would you approach learning AI?
So a lot of people don't know that you can actually feed data to, let's say, ChatGPT. You could go into settings and give it the things it have about you. So your chat can actually speak like you, write like you, talk like you. You can block out things like sharing. If you're creating a curriculum, you can take off settings there where you're not sharing your information with chat so that somebody can't, use your stuff. Those are some of, and you can schedule things. So for instance, if you're in the nonprofit space, you can schedule to get the latest updates and knowledge about nonprofits every day, right? That puts you ahead of the game. So if you get in what's going on in the world at 6 a.m. in your field, you're ahead of the game to somebody who don't know or who may get it a week or two. You're getting constantly updates about your field and about your expertise. So things like that, little things like that, prompting, how to properly prompt these AI agents. So people use it on the elementary level, not knowing you can go way deeper. Things like, hey, don't agree with me. Let's have a conversation. I need you to be my partner. There are different steps to it. And so people need to know that those are kind of the basic things that I will go in and just usually tell somebody.
When I'm utilizing AI, and I'd love to hear your process, but I'm going to just briefly kind of go what I'm talking about to give you context. When I'm trying to utilize AI, especially at my best, and when I'm not being lazy, I will ask at least the same, if not a different, like I have 3, I have Gemini, Chat, and Claude. I'll ask one of them, create a genius level prompt, right? I want you to create the prompt to create a plan. And then I'll take the prompt and I'll say, okay, now create the plan, a genius level plan for this prompt. And then it, with the Claude or Codex or whatever, then it will launch and it'll start,
Right.
And then, I've added in keywords like use sub-agents, use loops, use skills, use plugins, these sort of things. What's your process if you're using it at the highest level? If you're working on the hardest problem that you can work on, what's your kind of steps, or what are your secrets to?
So one of the key things for me is giving that chat or that agent an actual title. So say for instance, if I was creating a blog post, I would let them know that I need you to act as the top 1% of bloggers in the world that would work for the New York Times. Things like that. I give the job titles, the experience, always asking it to work as the top 1% of that person in that field. Then give it an action to do. This is what I need. These are the results that I'm looking for, and this is the outcome. And then once I get that, if I need to tweak anything, then I will let it know, hey, but the first main thing is always to give it a job title and give it a action, the job description, and then the outcome.
For individuals that I've been working with that have some knowledge, but not a vast knowledge like you and I about AI, often I hear the issue that they get frustrated that the output wasn't what they wanted, and they give up. How long should an iteration process go in your mind, or what does that look like? And I keep telling these individuals, like, it's not ask for one output and you get a genius response. Like, it's cutting down 90% of your work. You're still having to do 10%. Like,
right.
You still need human in the loop, right?
Right.
So how do you deal with that?
So I've had someone just recently that had a book out. He wants to add on to the book and add, the evolution of where he is now. And so just had him dump this digital file in and let him know. I gave him questions to ask to do that. And he's having that issue, man, it's not giving me. And I'm saying, hey, you have to go back first. You're trying to get all this output at once. Sometimes you have to break it down in sections, right? So I always say, hey, don't allow me to move forward until we answer this section is completed, then we'll move on. So a lot of times people try to give it too much. And so that's when you have these long outputs. So I've had things that might take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And I understand that. My main goal is to go back in and say, hey, Chad, how much longer on this project? They usually give you, that time. But right off the top, I would just break things down section by section and then get a master document once it's all completed. And so that can cut down on some of that output. But just like I said, speaking, proper prompting will help you. People don't understand it. It's like, for me, I talk like I'm talking to an individual that I may be working with. It's not, not agree with me every time. Iron sharpen iron. I'm trying to get this done. What can I do better that's taking this project so long, in your expert opinion? What can I do? So if you give it a job to answer you and saying, hey, it just spit out. Maybe we're doing this too much. I need this, and that. And so a lot of times it just takes kind of slowing down, breaking it down. People want everything. They think AI just, no, bro, you still have to have a plan and a strategy.
I definitely think the more you're spending prior to the project, crystallizing every detail will help the build out. But just like you said, I think one of the the last big project I built with AI took about 6 months to build, and it's like 251,000 lines of code. And it was just me with these coding agents, right? But I was also learning how to use the coding agents on, whatever. But one of my hacks that I found for myself was again, contrarian. You have to have the agent give you some sort of feedback in an honest way. But I just ask it to do a SWOT analysis and a gap analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and what are the gaps? And so after every sort of coding session, my next coding session that I start is I say, okay, we just worked on a bunch of stuff yesterday on X, Y, and Z. Do a SWOT analysis on that, or do a SWOT analysis of the whole project and a gap analysis, and tell me and like you said, give it parameters as far as what a genius coder would do, or what somebody that's genius, and this was for the hospice industry, what a CEO would want to see. Because at the end of the day, it's what's in my mind is not perfect, right?
Yeah. And
so,
go ahead.
No, please go.
Oh no, and that's the main thing. People have to just get in the habit of asking those questions. That's one of the things that I also tell it. Before we get started, please ask me any questions that you may need to know to complete this task. So even ask you questions before you even get started, because there may be some more details of things needed if you just tell it to go, and so when you go into detailed projects, you have to be very detailed.
I think the next iteration of AI, prior to us killing us all, is that it's going to get better. And I've seen this in my own usage with Claude and ChatGPT on the CLI version. That it's starting to say like, hey, like maybe you should do this instead. Like I sort of see where you're going with this, but you're missing, this sort of glaring issue that you don't even know that you're missing, and that's going to be a huge part. But still, again, just like any relationship, it's multiple interactions going back and forth for clarity of understanding of the scope of the project is really, at the end of the day, it can't build you anything that you don't even understand, right?
Right. Yeah. And so, and like you said, doing your homework prior to prompting, if it's just notes, because for instance, sometimes I just jot down things and get the meat of stuff so I can have some type of structure to go in with. It helps a lot instead of just going in blind, just kind of doing your homework, doing some pre-prompting before you go in, so you can get the output that you're looking to have.
Have you ever heard the story of the two lumberjacks?
No.
The old one and the young one? I feel like this is sort of where AI is going. So there's two lumberjacks, an old lumberjack and a young lumberjack, and they're in a competition to cut down a tree.
Right.
And I might be telling this wrong a little bit, but I'm gonna tell the best I can. The person says go, the young lumberjack just starts chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
And the old lumberjack sharpens his, sharpen, right? Chop, chop, sharp, chop, chop, sharpen. And it goes on, and the young guy's getting all the way through. The old lumberjack hasn't even started yet. And then, again, as I think you know, the older lumberjack gets up after his blade is sharpened, chops down the tree before the young guy, because making sure your tools are right, making sure your plan is right, is equally, if not more important than the work or the brute force that you put in. And I feel like, kind of circling back to where I started, people are not really even necessarily brute force at this point about pushing, but it's really all about planning, like making sure you plan before you execute, understanding your plan, questioning your plan, and then I think, like what you said, questioning throughout the process. Am I forgetting something? Could I do this better? Is there a better way? Yeah. Do you ever ask for truly novel ideas from your AI? Like when you're working on a project, you're like, think outside the box, or try to do something that nobody's ever done before. Do you ever experiment with those sort of things?
The closest thing that I have done is to ask to make sure that any information that I'm researching for projects are only factual information. I don't want hypothetical. I want factual info when working on this project. And so I have asked for things like that, because like you said, it's not 100% right. It may just throw out some stuff that hypothetical, or what. I only deal with factual information, things that I can go outside of chat and do cross-checking and data point that say, okay, this came up, this is facts. So because when I give numbers and I give analyses, I need for them to be factual. And so that's one of my main things that I work on.
Agreed. And I think we said it a little bit earlier, AI at its best should not replace teachers. It should increase their opportunity, their productivity, their efficiency, their effectiveness of turning knowledge into understanding. But that doesn't mean, and this is where I fear that it goes, right, that money does drive leadership to make poor short-term decisions. You are like, well, now we can have 60 students for a kindergarten teacher. And it's like, no, they're like, we're not needing to stuff more work onto them because they have more capacity, because look at all of our sort of benchmarks for education for the United States. We're not doing great, right? Like it's from the world standpoint. So we don't need to be shoving more kids in these classrooms. However, and I did want to talk about this, in Texas at least, we're seeing a lot of schools being shut down because a lot of people are choosing homeschool. And now with AI, it becomes more, reasonable now more than ever to homeschool your children if you have the physical time to do so. Do you have any thoughts about homeschool and where that kind of looks like with AI? I think for the individuals that want to do homeschool, it is the best time ever to be alive. Like it couldn't be.
Yeah, I agree. And so for me, I think it's based on the individual. If the individual, for whatever reason, wants to homeschool their child, then whether if that's out of safety or not feeling like, the child is learning effectively at school, yes, right now, this is the best time to jump on board, because you can create an assistant to help you, right? You can create like for instance, I did a podcast with Chad asking it to be a Irish host of the show and, a tutor that could speak Spanish, go back and forth, So those are things that it can use. So, for me, homeschooling is not a good fit because of my schedule and my daughter wanting to be involved socially and school and cheer and things like that. But for the individuals who do want to do that, kudos. I think this is a great move. So for me, it breaks down to what that parent or those parents think is best for their child.
I fear, though, at least, and this is what I'm alluding to at the beginning, is that there are schools shutting down in Texas, and it's not because of AI. But as individuals start to have this option that homeschool, that you can actually, and some would argue that homeschool students on average are maybe a little bit more educated, right, in some degree than the average student. But now more than ever, you know that you could have a very high functioning, educated student coming out of homeschool, no excuse, for basically for free, if not $20 a month, maybe, right? And so with more tax dollars being taken out of the school, that reduces, for you and I, and my kids are in public school as well, that reduces the opportunity for our children and our grandchildren, if they may go into public school as well, because they rely on those tax dollars. How do you see that balancing out, or do you have any opinion on that? And again, I'm kind of throwing you on the spot about it, but this is something I've been thinking of.
Well, we are in a difficult, a unique state when it comes to our leadership in government, right? They're cutting grant funding for nonprofits. They're cutting funding for schools, and so yes, I don't agree with it. But at the same time, as a parent, if I feel like the government or people in power are cutting too much where it's jeopardizing my daughter's learning ability and capability, then I would have to look at homeschooling. I just really try to stay out of things that I can't control, right? Things that I can't control, I try to, hone on that, because we'll get all up in the raw and people making decisions that they're supposed to be making decisions in the best interest of the people, or making them in the best interest of their self or some individuals higher up. And so at the end of the day, I know and believe that no matter what, it's up to the parents to make that decision what's best for their kid. It's not government. No matter what they cut, I got to make the decision that's going to best support and help my child. And so with AI, you are at a great place where you can best support your child and know they're safe at home. So for those who are choosing, I don't blame them. My daughter goes to a great public school and things like that. So,
well, and I have 4 children. I think as much as I'm pro AI, I'm not a teacher that I think would be the teacher for my children to be successful, to turn knowledge into understanding. And so I think, yes, if you're a homeschool, if you're pro homeschool, if you want to go homeschool, you can do it, but it's not throwing a computer at your child and saying AI is going to teach you. It's a lot of time. It would be a lot of energy to get, not a lot of time, a lot of energy, but it would take time, it would take energy to set up the systems in place to get the outcome that you wanted. I think you would be very disappointed if you just threw a laptop at a kid and said learn, because they're not going to learn. They're going to play games. I also worry about with schools with AI coming in on a positive way. If they start adopting that, our tax dollars, and you may or may not have an opinion about this, might that the tokenization that they're going to be utilizing this line item on a budget somewhere that is a rising cost of token use, right? And going back to your part of pocketing somebody's, or stuffing somebody's pockets because, nobody's seeing that this, token usage is growing exponentially over time. And why wouldn't it if AI becomes more and more, integrated, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to be honest, bro, I just don't even try to worry with that shit because
I get it.
You get stressed out and upset with politics and you see it. It's right before your eyes. It's more blatant now than ever. The governments before us, I guess, I don't know if it was good or bad, they hid their things and laws and stuff, but now it's just blatant in your face, and so once again, my focus is on, for one, trying to be a better father, a better community person, and a business owner that moves off of value than dollar, because I just believe value, the more value you create, the more opportunity you'll have to increase your income. And so for those individuals that are thinking financial first before kids' education, it all will come to a head. I'm just a firm believer in that. So people like me and yourself think about value first, and we'll get everything that we need, and we'll be able to support and make that decision, the best decision that we need to make for our kids, if that's homeschool or sending them to public school.
And Shawn, as we're wrapping this up, what are some of the last sort of final thoughts that you want to leave with the audience about, understanding AI, trying to start out with AI or integrating AI into their business? What's your go-to platform? Let's start there.
Oh man, it's you, Claude, Chat, video AI, Canva.
But if you're going to go with the general purpose AI, which one do you think would be the easiest for a novice to jump into, or for somebody that's completely?
Well, for me, it depends on how you're using it. A lot of people like myself are switching over to Claude because of the chat thing with allowing government to kind of spy in on what you're working on. But I would say chat, man. From anybody that's just wanting to get started, ChatGPT it's been a great help. I'm actually newly moving over to Claude and things like that. But what I would just have to tell people, man, anyone who will see this, think about this. You'd rather be the person that know how to use AI properly and effectively than someone who doesn't, because you'll be closer to the chopping block than that person, that individual. You can't do anything about people who are laying off or whatever due to AI integration. But the thing you need to do is you need to educate yourself. Any business owners, you need to have those systems in place, especially small business owners, where you can take some of the heads off. And with this, we're still at the infant stages of AI. Don't let what happened with the internet happen with AI, where you let that opportunity pass you by because you didn't learn it, you didn't implement it. And you look up 20 years from now and a lot of people are successful. and you got left behind.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That the knowledge, understanding, and again, critical thinking. That it's not the savior of all things. It's fallible, right? Like we got to make sure that we're working with it. We are not as a society, as a human, as a person, trying to even offload 100%. That's not the goal. We want to be somewhere in the loop so that the final product is the best output that we can possibly.
Correct. I agree.
Anyway. Well, Shawn, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, talk to you, what would be the best way to do that?
So my handle on social media is Smart Shawn Consulting. So that's on Instagram and Facebook, and then LinkedIn, man. With Shawn Smart at LinkedIn, WADSHAWN Smart.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, perfect.
That's the best way.
Yeah, and I'll put that in the description of this video. But thank you so much, Shawn, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Loved what we were talking about. Hopefully we'll get you back on here again soon.
Anytime, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right.